Hey guys, what's good, man? Boys and girls, it's time for the Europa Cup on Thursday evening against Olympiacos. And why is it that we keep getting stuck with these teams falling out of the Champions League? I mean, this is madness. We had Napoli, Valencia last year, but it reminds me of our run in the Champions League when we had to go through some big teams. But it's like the only way you have to do things is the hard way. You just got to go through brick walls, and then once you come out the other side, you'll be battle hardened and you'll be well up for it. And this is why we should have won in Baku last year. We already eliminated Napoli and Valencia, who were the two favourites to actually win the whole title, and then we go in against Chelsea and lay an egg. But this season we can overturn that. Now, guys, make no bones about this. This is going to be a very tough game. The matchup against Olympiacos. Let's talk about Olympiacos first. Now, this is a team that are extraordinary at home. I mean, by all accounts, they are the favourites to win tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal go there and get turned over. They had played. They were in a tough group. They were in Bayern Munich's group, and where they lost one, and then they drawed one, and they draw Tottenham as well. So overall at home this season, they've won 16 out of 19 games. It's crazy when you consider such a strong home form when most other teams in Europe around are really struggling. Olympiacos has been able to hold their own, and that makes it a really, really tough game. Arsenal unbeaten in their last 8 under Mikel Arteta. Well organised, tight. Team knows what they're doing now. Expectations of the manager are. And there are slight differences in terms of what we can expect to see from Arsenal. They will be well rested. The team is going to be shaken up a little bit. Ozil won't be travelling, for obvious reasons. We all know why. Torreira hasn't recovered from a slight illness, so I don't think that he's actually travelled today. Guendouzi will be travelling with the team. We all know and have heard. Remember, guys, this is not confirmed, but we've heard that there was a slight bust-up between him and Arteta. Now, whether that's true or not, it really doesn't matter. This guy's 20 years old. Arteta has earned the right to be respected at the club as a captain previously when he captained Arsenal and took us to FA Cup trophies. And as a manager, he's come in and he's brought a philosophy which has been much welcomed by the players and the owners and the fans. So I don't see any way how Guendouzi should run up his mouth for anything at that point. For me, he should humble himself, be quiet, learn from the veterans, and learn from Mikel Arteta what he's done at Manchester City, and just keep his mouth quiet and get on with it. Yeah, regardless of whether he's getting a lot of playing time or he isn't, or he's having to come off the bench, it doesn't really matter. Arteta knows what he's doing. He knows what good looks like. I've said this many times before. So give the man a chance to bring his philosophies over. And if it doesn't work, we can judge him by the end of next season. Notice I didn't say this season, because for me, what was good about Dubai is it acted like a mini preseason, and Arteta needs that. It needs time off away from games where you don't have to game plan, where you don't have to specifically look at the other team, where you can just focus on each other's fitness and your own tactics and set pieces and things like that. And I think that's the only time that the team has had where they could kick back and actually relax and think about those things. So as far as Arsenal goes, I'll be probably looking at a team sheet that goes somewhere like Martinez in goal, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, Luiz and Klasnach at the back. Holding midfielders, I'll go with Sabalas and I'll go with Xhaka. And then up front, I would have Pepe, Martinelli, Aubameyang and Lacazette. That's the way how I would line up. I'm just trying to think if there's Willock maybe, but every time I've seen him at the 10, it just hasn't been good enough. And I can't really chance put in players who are not at the top of their game in a match like this, where it's imperative we come away with a result. Guys, 0-0 would be great. I'll sign up for that all day long. If we can, or even a goal, because obviously away goals are gonna really matter. Even with those games that Olympiacos had against Spurs and Bayern Munich, they did manage to score 2 goals in each of those games. So it's very, very difficult to see Arsenal go in there and keeping a clean sheet. I'd be surprised if they did, but anything can happen under this. You never know what Arsenal team's going to turn up, do you? But overall, guys, I would seriously think that this may as well be our toughest game of the season, and because it means so much as well. Not just so much because they're a Champions League team, but eliminating a Champions League team puts you at the forefront of being one of the favourites to win the title. It's always been that way. Remember when Atletico Madrid dropped down a couple of years and ended up winning it? That's expected of a team that's come up from such a prestige tournament like the Champions League to come into the Europa Cup. You're expected to win that, regardless. Yeah, regardless of what the stakes are, you're expected to win that. So Olympiacos would be looking at Arsenal as a rollover, especially when you take into consideration Arsenal's league position. Olympiacos wouldn't be looking at this game to be anything other than a victory and a sweep. And it's really up to Arsenal to stand up and to be accounted for. So it's going to be really tough. Guys, I'm going for a 0-0. I can't see anything outside of a 0-0 at the moment because I want to take them back to the Emirates and give them a good old hiding. But at the same time, I would love to get an away goal. And you know, it's Aubameyang. You know, he scores. The man, that's all he does. And if you put Pepe in there and having these guys running the channels, it'll scare any defense. And how many games have we played where we've drawn blanks? Not many. So look, I would like I'd like to say 1-1, but I just want us to go there and not lose. A draw would be fine, and looking for us to get on the score sheet. And that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. It'd be good to know what you guys think. What would be your expectations of tomorrow night's game on Thursday at 8 o'clock? What would you be happy with as far as this goes? And listen, humble yourselves. Yeah, I keep hearing so many Arsenal fans talking about how they're going to win this and they're going to win that and they're going to finish top four. And this is the real world we're dealing with now, guys. These teams are tough. It's going to be hard to roll over these boys right now. So let's leave it there, man. I'll speak to you guys later. Like and subscribe to the channel as always, and back your team. Tomorrow night's going to be a big game, man. Peace out.